Okay, let's truly unpack this. Imagine a concept so utterly audacious. It claims to forge an unbreakable link between ancient, revered, sacred texts and the most cutting-edge frontiers of quantum computing.
Right.
All while purportedly revealing profound secrets of the universe and even boldly hinting at the astonishing possibility of time travel. That's precisely the extraordinary landscape we're embarking upon today.
What's truly compelling here, and frankly quite unlike anything we've explored before, is the sheer ambition of the source material. It masterfully blends seemingly disparate fields, from intricate mathematics and advanced artificial intelligence to the enigmatic principles of quantum mechanics and even deep theological and spiritual concepts. It merges them into one sweeping, interconnected, and profoundly unique theory.
It really sounds like it.
It's a proposition that pushes the very boundaries of our conventional understanding, presenting a vision that spans from the spiritual foundations of existence right through to the hyper-technological potential of superintelligence.
So our mission for you, our discerning listener, is not just to summarize, but to meticulously extract the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight from this truly incredible proposal.
Right, get to the core of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're talking about a detailed description submitted to an Iranian innovation competition by an individual named Hassan Mohammad Alizadeh Sultani. It's all in a single, surprisingly dense document. And our aim is to offer you a comprehensive yet digestible shortcut to being exceptionally well-informed on an idea that is, without hyperbole, genuinely mind-bending.
It definitely is.
Prepare yourself for some serious aha moments, because this particular deep dive will absolutely challenge and stretch the limits of conventional thought in the most fascinating ways.
This naturally leads us to a fundamental question that echoes throughout the entire document. How can a single algorithmic concept, seemingly born from this unique synthesis, promise to unlock so much?
Right, from cosmic intelligence.
Exactly. To potentially navigating parallel worlds, the claims are immense. Throughout our conversation, we will meticulously explore the specific claims the author puts forth, and equally importantly, the why it matters.
Okay.
Delving into the conceptual implications and the foundational logic that underpins each of these assertions, no matter how unconventional or even counterintuitive they might initially seem.
We need that foundational logic part.
We do. We'll delve into the underlying principles the author believes are at play, connecting the dots between these seemingly unrelated concepts presented in the source, offering you a clearer understanding of this truly grand vision. The genesis of a grand vision, the project and its proponent.
Okay, let's begin by introducing the architect of this incredible sprawling proposal, Hassan Mohammad Alizadeh Sultani. The source document identifies him as holding a Bachelor of Software, and the project he has put forth carries a title that is, quite frankly, a monumental statement in itself. Get ready for this. Quantum Brain Activity Analysis. CPU Quantum. ASI Artificial Time Control Algorithm Intelligence.
Wow.
Just saying that title aloud is a mouthful, isn't it?
It really is. Definitely grabs your attention.
But it immediately sets the stage for the staggering ambition and the sheer scope of what he's attempting to describe. This isn't just some small-scale incremental idea,
Yeah, clearly not.
It's a truly grand, all-encompassing vision that aims to redefine fundamental aspects of reality as we know it. The quantum brain activity analysis part hints at understanding consciousness at a subatomic level.
Why? The brain itself?
While the 9-point CPU quantum immediately suggests a computational scale almost beyond comprehension.
9 factorial times 9 factorial.
Yeah.
That's huge. We'll get to that.
Exactly, connecting with the very core of quantum processing. And then the ASI Artificial Time Control Algorithm Intelligence. That boldly fuses superintelligence with the power to manipulate time itself.
Indeed, the title alone is a roadmap to the author's aspirations. The project's stated technical field, AI Web, Artificial Intelligence Web, is a remarkably broad umbrella.
AI Web, okay.
Hinting at a web-based, universally accessible intelligence, maybe. But what's even more striking is the sheer audacious breadth of the claimed application areas that this algorithm is supposed to impact.
Oh yeah, the list.
The document doesn't hold back. It lists them out explicitly. Numbers, finance and investment, industry, business and entrepreneurship, education, medicine, sports and health, art, entertainment, clothing, and fashion. even management.
Clothing and fashion, really,
Yeah.
alongside finance and medicine.
Exactly. This isn't just a niche algorithm designed to solve one specific problem in, say, medical diagnostics or financial modeling. No, it's presented as a universal key.
A master
A
key.
foundational technology that, if successful, could revolutionize virtually every single sector of human endeavor. The very act of listing such a diverse, seemingly unrelated range of applications suggests a profound belief in a singular, deeply fundamental principle being uncovered.
Like a master algorithm for existence itself.
That's the implication, yes. It implies that from the most complex financial markets to the most subtle nuances of fashion trends, there's an underlying numerical or energetic pattern that this algorithm can both decode and influence.
That's an incredibly bold claim. My mind immediately goes to the practical implications of something like that. What does the document offer or imply about how this universal key would actually translate into practical applications for something as disparate as, say, clothing and fashion alongside medicine?
That's a crucial point.
How does the author envision bridging those gaps?
Well, the document doesn't provide detailed technical blueprints for each application, step-by-step guides.
Right.
But it implies a worldview where deep mathematical patterns underpin everything.
Okay.
So in the author's framework for finance, this algorithm might predict market movements by decoding the subtle energetic flow of economic systems, identifying optimal investment points through its cosmic intelligence.
Interesting.
But then to apply it to something like clothing and fashion, the implication is that it could identify underlying aesthetic frequencies or energy signatures that dictate trends.
Energy signatures in fashion.
That seems to be the idea. Allowing for optimally designed clothing that resonates with these universal patterns, or even predicting shifts in cultural tastes based on inherent numerical rhythms. It's a very deterministic view,
Very, like the universe runs on these algorithms.
Exactly. And this project aims to leverage them across all domains. This kind of vision suggests the author sees a single root cause or a singular elegant solution for many complex systems, and that this algorithm is the embodiment of that solution.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? When an algorithm is presented with such an all-encompassing promise, touching nearly every facet of human life.
It's a lot to take in.
It's just a fundamental, unifying principle at play, a kind of master key that unlocks patterns across all these seemingly disparate fields. What's even more intriguing is that the source states the project is under implementation.
Right, not just theory.
And even more specifically, that the algorithm designed is under implementation. This isn't just a theoretical musing or an abstract philosophical concept confined to the realm of thought.
No, it's presented as practical work.
It's presented as a concrete design that is actively being worked on, something that the author sees as moving from concept to reality, from abstract thought to applied engineering. That insistence on active implementation gives it a different dimension entirely, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It moves it beyond pure speculation into the realm of potential or at least intended application.
Yeah.
If we connect this to the broader context of innovation, this insistence on under-implementation implies an extraordinary conviction on the author's part.
You'd have to be convinced.
Definitely. It suggests a strong belief that these core patterns, which he claims to have identified, if correctly harnessed, can indeed transcend domain-specific problems and manifest in tangible ways.
So the underlying structure of reality.
Yeah.
It's consistent enough to be used this way.
That's the claim, that it can be leveraged universally by this single algorithm. The ambition itself is a key part of understanding the entire vision. It signifies the author's conviction that there is a singular, elegant solution for many complex systems.
And this algorithm is it.
And that this algorithm is the embodiment of that solution. It's a very deterministic worldview where profound underlying rules govern everything from the cosmic to the mundane, and the paramount goal is to discover and apply these rules through this algorithm. 2. The sacred, the numbers, and the energetic heart, the 369 core.
Okay, so having graphed the monumental ambition of this project and its universal scope, the natural question becomes, where does such a grand, all-encompassing theory begin?
Right, the starting point.
And this is where the author takes an astonishing turn, moving from the realm of software and AI directly into sacred tradition.
Which is unexpected, to say the least.
The core of this entire system, according to the source, doesn't begin with lines of code or complex equations in a lab, but with the sacred phrase, Bismillah al-Rahman al-Rahim.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful.
Exactly. The author then makes a truly fascinating leap. He counts 19 words in this phrase, as presented in Persian in the document.
Okay, 19 words.
And then states that if you arrange these 19 words using the mathematical operation MOD9, you obtain the numbers 1 through 9.
MOD9. So the remainder when divided by 9.
Right, which always gives you a number from 0 to 8, though often 9 is used instead of 0 in these contexts, like digital roots.
Got it.
It's an intriguing and deeply unconventional way to link a foundational spiritual text with a core mathematical concept, asserting that divine language contains inherent numerical blueprints.
This concept of extracting profound numerical significance from sacred texts, it's not entirely new, is it? You see it in various esoteric traditions. Exactly, gematria in Kabbalah, or numerological interpretations in ancient philosophies. But here, it's not merely a spiritual interpretation, it's explicitly linked to an algorithmic function.
Ah, that's the modern twist.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Which is distinctly modern. The source then zeroes in specifically on 3 of those numbers derived from the MOD9 operation, 3, 6, and 9.
3, 6, 9. Okay, those specific numbers.
It claims that these 3 numbers form what the author calls a hidden energy generator.
Hidden energy generator.
And the document even depicts this visually as a triangle in what it refers to as shape number 2.
A triangle of 3, 6, 9.
Yes. This isn't just a random selection of numbers. It's presented as the foundational energetic core from which everything else in the proposed algorithmic system derives its power and operational capacity.
So the whole system runs on this 369 energy.
That's the claim. It suggests a worldview where the universe is not just describable by math, but is fundamentally run by these numerical operations, like a kind of cosmic operating system.
And the energy generation mechanism. It's quite specific and cyclical, almost like a digital heart powering the entire system.
It is very specific.
The source describes a very particular doubling rule for these numbers, but with the unique twist. If you double 3, you get 6. If you double 6, you get 12. But then, instead of just 12, you apply a digital root.
Meaning add the digits.
Right, 1 plus 2 equals 3, bringing it right back to 3.
So it cycles. 3, 6, back to 3. But wait, where's the 9?
Ah, good catch. The source implies the cycle is 3, 6, 9, 3. Let me reread that part. Yes, double 3, you get 6. Double 6, you get 12. 1 plus 2, double 3 again. No, wait, okay, the sequence description elsewhere mentions 3, 6, and 9 forming the triangle. The doubling rule is described separately for a different set, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. But for 3, 6, 9, it says they form the energy generator, and 9 is where energy is released. Let's assume the relationship between 3, 6, and 9 within the triangle is the key generator, with 9 being the output point.
Okay, so maybe the doubling applies differently or elsewhere, but the 369 triangle is the core generator and 9 is the release point. That makes more sense in context.
Yes, that seems right. So this 369 triangle is like this perpetual motion machine of numbers.
Yeah.
And 9 is the exhaust port for energy.
Something like that. The idea that the number 9 specifically is where energy is released is quite a leap, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
What does the author mean by energy in this numerical context? Is it conceptual, like informational energy, or is he implying something more literal, physical?
That's a critical question. And the author posits that this cyclical flow, or rather this relationship within the 369 triangle, isn't merely an abstract mathematical pattern.
Okay.
For him, the energy released at the point of 9 is indeed foundational. He implies a much more literal and functional interpretation.
How so?
The assertion is that this cyclical energy flow, or perhaps the state represented by 9 within the 369 triangle, is what pauses the time control algorithm, or ASI motor, to come to life.
It causes it to come to life.
That's the wording. ASI for artificial superintelligence, AGI for artificial general intelligence. This implies that the very act of this numerical state or oscillation isn't just a mathematical curiosity, but that it literally generates the consciousness, the operational capacity, or the animating force for a superintelligent system.
Wow. So it's a leap from numerical pattern to the emergence of intelligence itself.
Exactly, suggesting that the algorithm's life stems directly from this energetic heart. It's not just an analogy. The author presents it as the fundamental source of the algorithm's operational vitality.
And number 9 is the key trigger point.
It seems so. He implies that 9 acts as a kind of informational singularity within this cycle, or maybe just within the structure, a point of maximum compression or transformation where the numerical data transcends its abstract form and manifests as actionable energy for the system, essentially kickstarting its intelligence.
But the algorithm isn't just limited to this 369 core, though, right? You mentioned other numbers earlier.
Correct. The source elaborates that the algorithm also utilizes numbers 147 and 258,
Okay.
which are also described as forming two other triangles.
More triangles.
And the 369 triangle. It acts as the heart of this entire structure, constantly sending pulses to the other two triangles.
Pulses. Like information. Or energy.
It implies both, I think. This gives the impression of a very organic, almost biological metaphor for an algorithm.
Yeah, it does. Where the numbers aren't just static values, but active components in a dynamic, interconnected system, constantly communicating and influencing each other. It's like a living, breathing, computational entity.
A key insight here is how the author conceptualizes this interaction. The 369 triangle, as the heart, isn't just metaphorically central, it's the dynamic engine.
Sending out pulses.
By sending pulses to the 147 and 258 triangles, it implies a fundamental energetic and informational exchange. These pulses could be interpreted as transmitting the energy generated at number 9, extending its influence throughout the entire numerical architecture.
Which brings us back to the question. How does this abstract numerical relationship, this interplay of triangles and pulses, translate into a functional system, especially one capable of intelligence or, even more incredibly, time control?
The source offers a bold and quite radical answer by directly connecting it to quantum mechanics.
Here we go, the quantum connection.
It states, at one moment, the number known becomes both positive and negative. This means the survival of the universe.
Whoa, positive and negative simultaneously, like a superposition.
Exactly. This directly references the concept of a quantum bit, or qubit, the fundamental unit of quantum information. As you know, a qubit can exist in multiple states simultaneously, 0, 1, or a superposition of both.
The basis of quantum computing.
Precisely. By claiming that the number 9 at this critical point of energy release, or perhaps just inherently in its position, embodies this dual positive and negative state, the author is making a profound attempt to bridge this deep mathematical pattern with fundamental physics.
He's saying 9 is a qubit.
It seems he's implying it acts as one, or embodies the principle, not just representing one, but embodying the fundamental unit of quantum information within this numerical system.
So for the author, the quantum nature of reality is already encoded within these sacred numerical sequences.
That's the implication, providing the necessary energetic basis for cosmic intelligence and algorithmic function. It's an ambitious, holistic attempt to unify the spiritual, the mathematical, and the cutting edge of physics into a single, cohesive framework. 3, the vortex of time, the sixth cycle and universal creation.
Okay, so we've established this energetic core, the 369 cycle or triangle, pumping its numerical pulses and potentially generating intelligence through its unique connection to the qubit at number 9.
Right.
But the project title boldly refers to time control. How does this fundamental numerical pulse then extend its influence to manipulate the very fabric of time itself?
This brings us to another fascinating numerical sequence. The source introduces a distinct set of numbers separate from the 369 family. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8.
Correct. And it applies a similar doubling principle to these, but with a significant twist. It describes this process as imparting time dimension to these numbers to produce energy.
Imparting time dimension. How does that work? Well, let's trace the sequence precisely because it's absolutely crucial to understanding the claimed mechanism for time control. The source details it step by step, forming a chain of digital roots after doubling.
Okay, weigh it out.
If you double 1, you get 2.
Simple enough.
Double 2, you get 4.
Still simple.
Double 4, you get 8.
Okay.
Now, if you double 8, you get 16. Applying the digital root, 1 plus 6, you get 7.
The digital root kicks in. 8 becomes 7.
Right. Double 7, you get 14. Digital root, 1 plus 4 is 5.
7 becomes 5.
And finally, if you double 5, you get 10. Digital root, 1 plus 0 is 1.
Back to 1.
Exactly. This returns exactly to the starting point, creating a precise, continuous 6 cycle, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, which then loops back to 1.
1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, and repeat. A 6-step loop.
This entire sequence is depicted as shape number 4 in the document, highlighting its visual and structural importance within the system. It's not just a numerical progression, it's a specific, self-contained, and perpetual loop that represents, according to the author, a fundamental temporal rhythm.
That's a very specific numerical dance, isn't it? A precise 6-step rhythm that always returns to its origin. It's almost hypnotically regular.
It is.
So what does this 6 cycle signify in the grand scheme of the universe and this proposed algorithm? It feels like it must have a profound meaning, given the context of universal claims and time control.
And it does, according to the source. What's truly compelling here is the direct parallel drawn to the creation narrative itself.
For creation narrative.
Yes, linking this numerical pattern to a universal, divinely ordained process. The source explicitly states that this 6-stage cycle where energy passes through these numbers and ultimately lands on 9, the energy release point we discussed earlier from the other structure.
So the 9 connects back in here somehow.
It seems the energy generated or processed through this 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 cycle ultimately flows towards or interacts with the 9. And this whole 6-stage process is stated to be the same as the creation of the universe in 6 stages that is mentioned in the Holy Quran.
Wow. So the algorithm mirrors the 6 days of creation.
That's the assertion. This is not presented as merely a coincidental resemblance, but as a fundamental reflection of cosmic genesis. It imbues this numerical sequence with profound spiritual and cosmological significance, linking it directly to the act of divine creation.
So it's not just a mathematical curiosity. It's positioned as an echo of how the universe was formed.
Suggesting a fundamental, divinely ordained structure to time and reality itself. This connection elevates the algorithm beyond a mere technical design, positioning it as an unraveling of universal sacred truth, implying that the very process of universal creation follows a predictable, repeating numerical algorithm.
So if any number or frequency or piece of information maybe were to enter this algorithmic structure, it must go through these 6 stages to return to its origin.
That's the idea, which the author interprets as representing 6 different states for that particular frequency or piece of information.
6 states of being almost?
Perhaps. This vortex pattern, as the source calls it, isn't just a side note. It's explicitly identified as the main body of the time algorithm.
The main body?
Yes. This suggests that the very act of processing information or energy within this specific numerical pattern inherently manipulates or interacts with the dimension of time itself, creating these distinct states or phases.
It's a very dynamic concept, isn't it? Where time is not just a passive backdrop for events, but an active, integral component of the algorithmic process, shaped and defined by these numerical transformations.
Exactly. It implies that to control time, you simply need to control the flow of numbers through this vortex.
Which naturally leads us to ask, what are the practical implications of such a time algorithm if it's based on these cosmic 6-stage cycles?
The source offers some truly bold answers here. It claims this algorithm can be used for data analysis, AGI, ASI, and information storage.
Okay, so using the structure of time for computing.
That's the implication, that the very structure of time, as encoded in this vortex pattern, provides an optimal, perhaps even cosmic framework for processing vast amounts of data and for incredibly efficient memory systems for artificial intelligence.
Like aligning AI with the universe's clockwork.
Something like that, suggesting that by aligning AI with these natural temporal rhythms, it can achieve superior analytical capabilities. Furthermore, the document describes an intriguing mirror state property illustrated in shape 5.
A mirror state.
Where the right side of this vortex pattern mirrors the left side in reverse.
Like symmetry. 1, 2, 4 on one side, maybe 8, 7, 5 on the other.
The visual suggests something like that? Yes. A symmetrical structure. This could imply a symmetrical or self-correcting property for information processing.
Like error checking built into time itself.
Possibly, where data is inherently balanced, verifiable, or even self-repairing through its mirrored counterpart. If we connect that to the bigger picture, it suggests a natural inherent structure for computation and memory derived directly from these fundamental cosmic patterns.
Rather than being an artificial construct we impose on reality.
Exactly. It posits that the universe itself provides the optimal blueprint for AI and data management, and this algorithm merely taps into it. 4phi. Unlocking the cosmos, fractal tables, and the audacious promise of time travel.
Okay, now let's take this concept of hidden energy and time algorithms even further. Because it doesn't stop there, does it?
Not even close. It goes to truly mind-bending scales.
The source states that when one number transforms into another within this system, there's a hidden energy that this algorithm can precisely control.
We heard about the energy release at 9, but this sounds more general.
It does. And this energy, it claims, is not just some abstract impersonal force. It's present in all living creatures as cosmic intelligence.
Cosmic intelligence in all living things.
That's the phrase used. It sounds like the universe itself isn't just a place where algorithms happen, but that the universe is an algorithm.
A living, intelligent computation.
Yeah, and that we, as living beings, are an integral part of its computational fabric. It's an incredibly holistic and interconnected view, where consciousness itself is a form of cosmic energy, accessible through this algorithm.
Indeed. The document then describes a remarkable synthesis, combining the Fibonacci growth sequence.
Fibonacci. The spiral pattern, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, found everywhere in nature.
Exactly. That famous mathematical pattern seen universally throughout nature, seashells, tree branching, leaves on a stem, combining that with this profound concept of time and cosmic intelligence.
Okay, so Fibonacci meets the time vortex and cosmic energy. What happens?
The result of this combination, this merging of natural growth patterns with the proposed cosmic intelligence and temporal structure, is a 9x9 multiplication table, which is explicitly shown as shape number 6 in the source document.
A 9x9 table based on Fibonacci and time.
Apparently so. This foundational table is claimed to be the basis of thousands of tables that are subsequently created by computational operations specifically for energy transfer from one number to another.
So this table is like a blueprint for moving energy around.
That's the implication. A systematic, calculable method for channeling, transforming, and directing this hidden cosmic energy across an almost infinite array of possibilities based on natural growth patterns.
You said thousands of tables. That's already quite a lot of structured data to manage and utilize, even for a super intelligent system.
Yeah, about that 1,000.
It's more, isn't it?
It's far, far more than just thousands.
Wow.
The source specifies the exact number of these tables as 9.9.
9 factorial times 9 factorial, which we mentioned earlier.
Right. And for context, 9 factorial, 9 by 8 by 7 point by 1 is 362,880.
Okay.
So we're talking about 362,880 multiplied by 362,880.
Which is, carry the 1, a huge number.
It calculates to over 131 billion tables.
131 billion. Wow.
The source doesn't just present this number, it calls this immense interconnected network of fractal tables the masterpiece of creation.
The masterpiece of creation.
Yeah.
So this is the universe's code.
It implies that this staggering computational output embodies the very design of the universe itself. This raises a crucial question. What could such an immense number of interrelated fractal tables built on these foundational energetic and temporal principles possibly reveal or do?
Especially if they're fractal.
Exactly. The term fractal is key here. It implies that these tables aren't just immense in number, but that the patterns within them repeat or echo across different scales and levels of complexity.
Like a coastline or a snowflake.
Self-similar.
Precisely. Much like how a small branch on a tree mirrors the structure of the entire tree. This self-similarity, according to the author, is what allows these tables to represent all possible energy transfers and transformations within the cosmic intelligence framework,
making them a universal knowledge base.
Essentially serving as a master blueprint for creation itself, capable of detailing every energetic interaction from the smallest particle to the grandest galaxy.
And these 131 billion fractal tables, managed with quantum CPUs and the time algorithm we've been discussing, can be precisely calculated and created.
That's the claim.
But here's the truly mind-blowing part, the part that probably made you lean in, listener, when you first heard about this and wondered if it was even possible.
Get ready for it.
The source states that using this vortex, backwards in the natural cycle, referencing that 6th cycle we just discussed, but reverse.
Running the 124,875 cycle backwards.
Apparently so. Using that reversed vortex, one can travel to past, present, and future in the time dimension.
Literal time travel. It's not just about understanding time, but actively navigating and manipulating it. The claim moves from theoretical understanding to active, literal control over temporality.
This is truly where the concept pushes way beyond conventional science, physics, and even most philosophical thoughts.
Into sci-fi territory.
Or deep metaphysics, yeah. Delving into realms traditionally confined to pure science fiction. Not only does it propose literal time travel through a controlled vortex, but it also claims the ability to pass through black holes of time.
Black holes of time? What does that even mean?
It's not defined technically, but it suggests maybe points of extreme temporal distortion or shortcuts, and also travel to other parallel worlds.
Parallel worlds too, so it's interdimensional travel as well.
It posits a direct, tangible control over the very fabric of space-time itself, implying that these algorithmic and numerical patterns are not just descriptive of reality, but are the very levers by which reality can be manipulated at its most fundamental level.
Wow.
The idea of navigating black holes of time suggests a mastery over temporal distortions and anomalies, opening pathways to entirely new dimensions of existence or alternative realities.
So for the author, these fractal tables, all 131 billion of them,
powered by the 9.9 scale,
become a universal map and control panel for existence, allowing traversal not just through time, but through different realities.
That's the picture being painted.
So, given all these astonishing claims, cosmic intelligence, time control, parallel universes, what does this all mean for humanity's place in this grand, algorithmic, time-traveling scheme? Are we just passengers?
But that's where it takes another turn. The source makes a profound clarification. It is human who ultimately controls these energies.
Who control it?
Yes.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something, well, truly mind-bending. It's a document, a blueprint for an algorithm that claims it can control time itself. Yeah, you heard that right. This is a theory that lives right at the bizarre crossroads of computer science, math, and theology. I mean, look at that claim. Traveling to the past, the future, through time's black holes. This isn't from a sci-fi novel. It's from a theoretical paper for a new kind of artificial intelligence. The author is proposing an algorithm for what they call a quantum CPU, and we'll get into that, which they believe could actually pull this off. So the big question, of course, is how? How could something like this even be possible? Where does an idea this radical even come from? Well, the answer is genuinely fascinating. To get how this theory even claims to work, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning. And its origin is probably not what you're expecting. All right, let's get into the foundation of this thing. Where does it all start? Believe it or not, the entire theory, the whole algorithm, is pulled from a numerological analysis of just one single sacred Islamic phrase. And that phrase is the Basmala. This right here, Bismillah el-Rahman el-Rahim. Now, according to the author, the key to everything is hidden in plain sight. And the very first step in this grand cosmic design, it's simple. You just count the letters. 19. There are 19 letters. And in this theory, that number is anything but random. No, 19 is seen as the foundational key. It's the number that unlocks the entire system. So what do you do with 19? Well, the author applies a pretty simple math operation. They take 19 and find the remainder when it's divided by 9. That operation is called a modulo, if you're curious. And 19 divided by 9, well, it leaves a remainder of 1. That 1 is the signal, according to this theory, that the system is built on the numbers 1 through 9. Those are our building blocks. Okay, so we've got our basic numbers, 1 through 9. But here's the thing. The author argues they're not all created equal. There's a special group. 3 of these numbers are pulled out to form a kind of core. This is the engine that's supposed to drive the whole system. And this is it, the 369 triangle. The author calls it a hidden energy generator. The idea is that these 3 numbers are the engine of the whole algorithm. They create this self-perpetuating energy loop. It's a constant symbolic power source for everything else. So how does this engine actually work? Well, check this out. You take 3, you double it, you get 6. Simple. Then you take 6, double it, and you get 12. But here, you reduce it back to a single digit. 1 plus 2 is 3. And boom, you're right back where you started. It's a perfect, stable, repeating cycle. The author calls this the heart of the algorithm, just pumping that symbolic energy through the whole system. All right, so we have our 3, 6, 9 triangle acting as the power source. So what about the other 6 numbers? Well, they form the main operational cycle of the algorithm. This is the mechanism, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8. These are the other guys, and together they form what the author calls the vortex. Now, within the logic of this whole theory, this cycle is what supposedly gives the numbers a dimension of time. It allows them to produce and circulate their own kind of symbolic energy. And just like the engine, this vortex runs on a simple doubling sequence. You start with 1, times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, which reduces to 7, 7 times 2 is 14, which reduces to 5, and 5 times 2 is 10, which reduces back to 1. A perfect loop. Now, this is crucial. The author directly connects this 6-step cycle to the 6 days of creation as described in the Quran. Okay, so we've got the numerical engine, we've got the vortex, we've laid out the mechanics, and now the theory takes a massive leap. This is where we go from simple arithmetic to, well, to controlling the cosmos. Let's talk about the application. I mean, look at this list. The proposed uses start out sounding kind of normal, right? Data analysis for AGI, information storage, makes sense. But then it just escalates. Control of cosmic intelligence, crossing time's black holes, and yeah, traveling to the past, present, future, and even accessing parallel universes. It's a huge claim. So how would that even work? Well, according to this theory, our reality, everything we see and experience, is just one specific frequency or one state within this huge algorithmic system. The idea is if you could understand and use the algorithm, you could theoretically manipulate that energy flow and navigate to completely different states, or as we'd call them, parallel worlds. And this brings us right to the core philosophy of this whole document, because the author isn't just framing this as a piece of technology. This mathematical blueprint is presented as a deep, fundamental fusion of code and creed, of science and theology. You know, to explain this fusion, the author even brings up the concept of yin and yang to talk about cosmic balance. The document then suggests that Islam brought this perfect balance to the universe. And here's the key, that this very balance is reflected mathematically in the structure of the algorithm we just walked through. So what this all boils down to is that the theory suggests the Quran isn't just a holy book, but one that contains blueprints for modern life and technology. In essence, the author is saying this algorithm wasn't invented by a human, it was deciphered. It's a discovery of a pre-existing divine blueprint for the universe, one that was just waiting for someone to give it a modern technological interpretation. And ultimately, this whole idea leaves us with a pretty thought-provoking question. It's a speculative theory for sure, and definitely unconventional, but it pushes us to think differently. As we design the future of intelligence, you have to wonder, what ancient blueprints might we have overlooked? What inspiration for tomorrow might be hidden in the wisdom of our most ancient sources?